So I may be the only one, and I'm willing to admit that. But I literally just learned this today, and that's that Neoplatonism teaches that all of reality emanates from what they call the One, an absolute, ineffable source beyond being and non-being, descending through the divine mind called nous, and then the word soul, and then into matter, and the whole goal of the philosophy is reversing this descent through contemplation and purification until you can return to union with the One, dissolving individual consciousness back into the infinite. This is what's called Neoplatonism, and understanding its cosmology reveals why it became the foundation for Christian mysticism, Islamic Sufism, Jewish Kabbalah, and every other Western esoteric tradition, because it maps the structure of consciousness from the absolute all the way down to the material and back. At the top is the One, beyond description, beyond existence, and beyond thought. It's not a being or a god, it's the infinite source from which everything flows. You can't say what it is, only what it isn't, which is kind of weird. The One overflows like a fountain, and this overflow creates nous, or the divine intellect, which contains all the eternal forms and all perfect ideas. Nous is where Plato's forms exist, beauty itself, justice itself, alongside the archetypal patterns of everything that manifests below. Nous contemplates the One and overflows, creating soul. This is the cosmic principle that animates and organizes matter. Soul looks upward to nous and downward to matter, bridging the eternal and the temporal. And finally, matter appears as the furthest removed from the One. Not evil, but the most distant emanation, where divine light is the dimmest. The material world exists at the very edge of being, barely holding form. How do we get back? Apparently the soul fell into matter and forgot its origin. Salvation is remembering and ascending back through the levels by purifying the body, disciplining the mind and contemplating the forms, and finally losing yourself in union with the One is the order of the day. Plotinus taught henosis, union with the One achieved through ecstasis, going outside yourself. In this mystical experience, subject and object dissolve, individual consciousness merges with the infinite consciousness, and you become what you always were, the One experiencing itself. This isn't theoretical philosophy, it's a lived practice. Plotinus reportedly achieved henosis multiple times. His student Porphyry said he united with the divine through contemplation, experiencing direct mystical union. Christian Neoplatonism merged this with Christianity. The One becomes God the Father, nous becomes the Logos or Christ, and soul becomes the Holy Spirit. Dionysius the Areopagite used Neoplatonic structure to map Christian mystical ascent through purgation, illumination, and union. Kabbalah absorbed Neoplatonism through medieval Jewish philosophers. The One becomes En Sof, the infinite. The emanations become the 10 Sephiroth, and the return path becomes ascending the tree of life from Malkuth to Keter. Islamic Sufism and Neoplatonic cosmology come together as well. Al-Farabi and Avicenna taught emanation theory, and Sufi mystics describe fana, or annihilation of the self, as identical to this concept of henosis, dissolving into divine unity. Hermeticism, Rosicrucianism, and every other Western esoteric school uses Neoplatonic framework. Reality as descending emanations from a divine source, and spiritual practice as ascending back through purification and contemplation. Neoplatonism provides the metaphysical structure that nearly all Western mysticism